Katibi, the goalkeeper for Central FC, and he's hailing from Nigeria. And we want to ask Katibi how it has been so far in Trinidad.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
We are the fourth estate. We educate, we inform, and we hold those in authority, politicians, business leaders, and others to account.
Connecting the public to the truth drives our purpose here at CNC3. When we stand behind a desk every single night, a lot of people don't know that we're a huge part of the news process. We eat, breathe, and sleep news. And that reflects in everything that we do as a news team.
Every day we tell the stories of people's journey through life. Stories of their success, stories of their sadness, stories of their grief, stories of their glory. We're the mirror in which society looks at itself.
When a storm is coming, everyone always thinks worst case scenario, and sometimes it may just be a brief shower or two. It's not always going to be a green veil level event. So it's important to have the most credible and accurate information coming from a verified source.
Welcome, you're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe, cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy your treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
Right, Matric 4, and it's a long weekend, so we bring 3 different doubleheaders in 3 different locations. Friday, we head to La Hocketa Recreational Ground, Police FC coming up against Westfort, and your home team, Terminix La Hocketa Rangers, coming up against CSW. Then on Sunday, we head to St. James Police Barracks, DEPORTIvo Point 14, coming up against Central FC. And on Easter Monday, we head to the Arima Velodrome, Aruba Football Club, coming up against Columbia FC, and AC Port of Spain comes up against Defense Force. Long weekend, 3 locations, electrifying games. The Ascension football tournament continues.
Once again for another match round in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago. Once more, we are live from the St. James Barracks. A happy Easter to each and every one of you tuning in for this afternoon's fixture, which sees Deportivo Point 14 making the trip from the Southland to take on Central FC, the Central FC Sharks, right here at the St. James Barracks. I am Jassy Marique, and with me, as always, is Jovan Rovello.
Hi, Jassy. It's a good afternoon again to all the viewers on television, wherever you're looking at this streaming. We have a very mouth-watering clash this afternoon between Depot PF and Central, two teams that are no strangers to exciting matches in this tournament so far. Central FC, of course, coming back last week, and Depot Point 14, putting in some good shifts so far in tournament.
Yep, one of the more experienced teams, certainly in terms of their players who have seen the game at all levels, and Central FC certainly a more youthful looking squad, but definitely not looking too out of their depth in the early phase of the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago 2022. We are getting ready for kickoff in just over 5 minutes time, but before that we'll take you through all that you need to know to get yourselves updated with what's happening in this tournament. And of course, we will bring you the live coverage, live kickoff from 5 p.m. here at the St. James Barracks, the St. James Police Barracks in Port of Spain. We are looking at these two teams looking to improve their positions in this table, Jovan. Certainly they would be aiming to walk away from this venue with 3 points at the end of it all. The Deportivo team certainly themselves would perhaps be kicking themselves for how things have gone in terms of their progress this season. And just a bit earlier, we spoke to representatives on both sides of the field, the captain of the Deportivo team, Marvin Phillips, and another goalkeeper himself from Central FC, Kalipo Katibi. Here's what they had to say about their team's potential prospects.
So we have with us here Farouk Katibi, the goalkeeper for Central FC, and he's hailing from Nigeria. And we want to ask Katibi how it has been so far in Trinidad and Tobago playing, and especially with Central FC.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Katibi Kolapo Farouk. I'm a professional footballer playing for Central FC in the Ascension tournament. I'm from Nigeria. I am 26 years old. I can only say I'm so pleased to be a part of this tournament, and I'm so happy to be in Trinidad and grow as a footballer.
Now, Central FC had 3 games so far, 2 draws and 1 loss. 2 good games, come from behind games, and of course they lost to Kunupia. For you, how it has been for the first 3 games?
Well, it has been good so far, not so bad, because considering my team, we all can see we have a lot of youth players, and few are the older players. I believe I am one of the oldest players in the team, but I believe with the little 3 games, we've gathered enough experience to win this upcoming game today. So I believe with the little experience we could gather from the boys, we will come up good today, and we could make a good result on the log, so we can come up.
Well, on paper, people may say that Deportivo might be a team that you should beat, but on Deportivo have a lot of experienced players. In fact, your opposite number is our national goalkeeper. And how do you think this game, what kind of game are you anticipating?
Well, as a professional footballer, you should be ready for anything in football. But I can tell you that today is a big game. I am aware of their capabilities, and I am aware of the national team goalkeeper in Marvin Phillips, who is someone I look up to. I watched him in the Gold Cup, the last one, and I'm so pleased. I know I could learn a lot from him, and I know we've met some couple of times before, and he's someone that I look up to as a goalkeeper, because we goalkeepers love each other. But today's game will be intense and it will be tough, but I believe in my players.
Thank you so very much, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And now we have Deportivo PF goalkeeper, national goalkeeper Marvin Phillips. And Marvin Phillips, good afternoon. And you have brought into Deportivo after a couple games. You are the starting goalkeeper now as a national goalkeeper. And what is your role when in the team? As your team is a young team, players with not much of experience, what do you see your role as in this team?
Coming in, joining DEPORTIVO, I had a stint in Point Fortin Civic before, so I'm familiar with a lot of these players. They are a relatively young bunch, and there's a couple players who I have played with in Point Fortin Civic. But on any given team, I'm here to share my experience. Try to let them grow in confidence and play the football the way they know how to play it.
Now, as you are a national goalkeeper, you would have been playing during the pandemic for the past couple of years. But now, as we have competitive football locally, how relieved are you in seeing that, yes, you can come and play competitive football locally?
It's definitely a big relief on myself and on a lot of players. 2 years, it was just training with the national team, and it was at a disadvantage because you're just training and you need to be selected for games. But now the competition will start back. It's a great thing. It augurs well for players, local players, so they can get themselves some match fitness, and hopefully the head coach picks up on players he would love to join the squad.
And looking forward to this evening's game against Central FC. Both teams are on 2 points after the first 3 games. What kind of match are you anticipating?
It's going to be a difficult match. Each team in the competition is a good team. But we have to go out there and do what we have been doing in training, and to come and unsettle these guys and go there for a victory.
Well, thank you so much, and all the best for the game.
Thank you very much.
Union, good unity there shown by both players. Now it's a time to take a look at the standings. At the top of the table, of course, we have Terminix, Lahokita Rangers, Police FC, who we saw play at this venue last week, are on 9 points after a 4-0 victory last Friday. Kunupia FC are third on 6 points. Defence Force are fourth with 5 points. Today we have Depot PF. You can see them there on 2 points lower on the table. They play Central FC. Central FC is also on 2 points. Both of them have drawn 2 matches and lost 1. So we're looking forward to seeing great football from both sides as they try to raise up and come up on the table. Of course, Moruga FC is in action tomorrow. They'll be looking for their first points in the tournament.
Yeah, Jovan, as you rightfully said, the teams so far in this competition really beginning to put some daylight between themselves. These two that will come up this afternoon, Central FC and Deportivo PF, languishing near the bottom of the table with a match in hand, which will be played this afternoon here at the St. James Police Barracks. But certainly one of these 2 teams will hope to walk away with all 3 points and record their first win for the season. You mentioned, both teams have a similar record so far. They've drawn 2 and lost 1 of their matches, and will be aiming to, again, put 3 points in the bag this afternoon. The teams are beginning to stream out of the dressing rooms, and so we'll take this opportunity now to get you familiarized with how they'll line up. For Central FC, in goal, their number 1, who we just heard from a short while ago, Kolapo Katibi, out of Nigeria. Certainly hoping to maybe catch the eye of his opposite number, Marvin Phillips. They will go across the back with Finis Thompson and Leonardo da Costa partnering each other at the center of their defense. Javon Thomas will play at the left back position with Leandro da Costa, number 17, who is the brother of Leonardo, twin brother, will play the right back position. Keegan Fario will shield the defense in midfield, while Romario Burke and Joe Cole Pair will partner each other a little bit more advanced, offering support to a front 3 of Ronaldo Francois, Kishon St. Rose, who is the captain, and Michael Williams. So that's how Central FC will line up in a 4-1 or 4-3-3 rather, conventional setup. And of course, we'll in a short bit get familiarized with the Deportivo team. As mentioned, number 1, Marvin Phillip in goal. He'll captain the team today, as always. Isaiah Garcia will play on the right side of defense. and on the left side, Justin Cornwall. The center defensive pairing will feature Andre Etienne, no stranger to football at the highest levels in Trinidad and Tobago, and Ronell Paul, number 21. He's coming into today's team in for Wesley John. Andre Pacheco, yep, the midfield hard man, another really experienced player on the local circuit. He'll, again, just hold the midfield, anchor the midfield, and of course they'll go 5 across with Ezekiel Kessa out on the right. Nathaniel Garcia, who is one of the famed Garcia brothers in Trinidad and Tobago. He'll play in the middle of the park alongside Isaiah Hudson, while Luke Phillip is out left, and they'll be leading their attack will be Akinola Gregory. So those are the lineups for this afternoon's encounter. Deportivo Point Fortin taking on Central FC here at the St. James Barracks. And just a point to note, you would have seen a couple names there that stand out, and just it dawned on me, Jovan, how much we see the siblings featuring in these teams. So for instance, Central FC, they'll have 2 brothers on the park today, Leandro da Costa and Leonardo da Costa, 2 twins, a pair of twins. And of course, for Point Fortin, Nathaniel Garcia, who is one of 3 Garcia brothers who have represented Trinidad and Tobago internationally, Levi and Judah, the other 2. So definitely, and my producer is also pointing out to me on that Central FC team, Javon and Joshawn Thomas, another pair of brothers.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see, family affair. It's always good when you have fellow footballers in the house. You can, get through the experience from the older brothers. And as you can see, the youngest of the Garcias is really the one who's been flying the family flag high. So it's really working out well for these pairs and these triples of brothers that we see coming through the system, and we hope it continues in that way.
Speaking of family affair, also featuring for Central FC, Shem Clausel. He's the son of the Dreadbler, of long ago, Mr. Ian Clausel himself, and also Tario Mulrain, another offspring of famed Trinidad and Tobago captain at that, Travis Mulrain. So definitely a family affair here at the St. James Barracks, and we know that as far as these pleasantries will extend this afternoon, we see a smartly dressed Ross Russell, head coach of the Central FC team, as he takes his position in the technical area, and so to the other team, Deportivo Point Fortin. They are also getting ready to really show us a really competitive 90 minutes today.
Yeah, and really expect good football from these teams. As you said, they're very close in the table, and they're also looking to come up on the table. So you can see the focus in both coaches and both benches and in the starting lineups, and we really are anticipating a good afternoon of football. The sun has ducked behind the clouds, gratefully for us here at the commentary position, and maybe for Mr. Russell too, who's in a full suit on this Sunday afternoon.
And a full black suit at that. So definitely he will be grateful for the recession of the glorious sunshine that spread itself across this St. James Barracks ground. The turnout is not as large as last week when the home team, Police FC, was here against the then second place team, Cunupia FC, but still not a bad smattering of spectatorship here at the venue, as we see the 2 teams entering the arena now. Central FC, they'll be decked off in yellow with blue trim, and of course Deportivo Point Fortin, we are told, in fresh kit for this encounter. They'll play in orange and blue shorts.
Straight out of the bag, players who are just getting their numbers put onto the team list. So we're anticipating, that to really pump up the spirit of the guys as they come out here, looking very smart on a Sunday afternoon and looking for 3 points as well.
Yeah, and Easter Sunday is usually associated with new beginnings, Jovan, and certainly by Deportivo's start to this encounter, they'll hope that they'll restart their campaign in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago, beginning with 3 points this afternoon against Central FC. So that match is getting ready to kick off in just a short bit. We'll take you through live commentary here from the St. James Barracks in Port of Spain as the captains now assemble to take the toss. Again, it's It's Marvin Phillip for Deportivo Point Fortin and young Kishon St. Rose, a really exciting player himself. He would have run riot in the youth divisions of local football pre-pandemic, and certainly he's been looking to make the step up to the senior levels. He's not done too badly so far in this tournament, and of course showing the trust that Central FC and their management would have in his talents. They've named him captain of this team.
Yeah, really a good young player, very exciting. He played as a lone striker in their match at the Velodrome last week and really, put the defense to the sword, really. He would have wanted to score one of his 4 attempts on that afternoon, but he was looking to do a little better this afternoon against Depot Point Fortin. The referee, of course, is Timothy Derry. His assistants are Karen Myers and Natalia Williams. The 4th official is Dennis Changa, and the referee's assessor is Linda Bramble Thompson.
So the assistant referees just going through their final checks, ensuring that the netting here at the police barracks is wholesome. And as they retreat to their respective starting positions, referee Timothy Derry will be looking to send us on our way in just a short bit. Once more, the team on field, Nathaniel Garcia and the Deportivo Point Fortin unit taking on Central FC here at the police barracks. We see the Central FC bench, and it's they that will kick off. No, it seems as though Point Fortin will kick off in this one. And already from our position we can hear the instructions of Russ Russell to press immediately to his Central FC charges. And that's kickoff. Deportivo Point Fortin attacking the goal left to right of your screen, and of course coming up against Central FC. Both teams so far 2 points on the standings from 3 matches, and hoping to walk away from the venue with all 3 points, one of them at least, at the end of 90 minutes this afternoon.
It's a good a chance as any, really. 2 teams on similar form. Here we have Depot looking for the early breakaway. Comes to nothing.
Nathaniel Garcia goes down. His attacking threat certainly would want the Central FC defense to remain vigilant. As we know his quality, he's played in stints abroad, most recently in India, and he's back home now and hoping to spur on Deportivo Point Fortin. So it's Central FC with the ball now. This is for them Faria, Keegan Faria. He's looking to release along the left side there, Javon Thomas. But it's retrieved by the Deportivo team and put forward here now. This is a ball being played back now to
Here's Pacheco bringing it forward for the Depot team. Of course, a veteran of the Princestown team that won the National Intercol title. A very exciting team. Also included Marvin Phillip, Houghton Hector, who is back. Here comes Central. Flag on the far side says that the number 11, that is Williams, is offside.
Deportivo Point Fortin now coming, building their attack along the left side. This is a long ball looking to drop it in behind for Akinola Gregory, but it's cut out, and now Central come forward. This is their captain, St. Rose. He's playing all the way back now to Williams. Williams is looking ahead. And this now will be a throw-in for Central FC just in front of our commentary position.
So foul throw. Very rare at this level, but has to be called.
This is Gregory flicking this one on to Ezekiel Keza. He'll have a chase, and he does very well indeed to win himself and the Deportivo Point Fortin team a corner kick, the first corner kick of this encounter, just about 3 minutes on the clock. And of course, let's see if Deportivo Point Fortin can make something out of this opportunity. Heading across to man the situation is Nathaniel Garcia, and again we made mention of his quality, and certainly delivery is one of his better assets, set piece delivery that is, and he'll be aiming to pick out an orange here. This is a nice flat cross and a strong header coming in. It's wide of the upright though from the defensive strongman as he makes his retreat now. A good chance there for Deportivo Point Fortin, and something off of the training ground it seems, because the Nathaniel Garcia, he played that one pretty flat, pretty pacey onto the head of it looks to be Andre Etienne, but the attempt was wide of the mark.
Yeah, a well-directed corner and header. Good chance there for Depot. Get some of their early nerves out of the way. Here they come again. Just looking to control the ball, recycle possession. Very patient football from Depot. Good defense. Clapped on there by Ross Russell. Central with the throw. Covered by the centre-back pairing. That is Andre Etienne. Over to Ronald Paul. Pacheco back to Paul. Paul looking for the runner on the left-hand side. Pacheco recovers. Real scrap in the midfield there. One of the key areas this afternoon. Both teams looking to dominate.
So already it seems as though the Point Fortin team is taking a liking to that left side of the field, and so Central FC has had a lot of defending to do. They'll have an opportunity to open the play now, as they're urged to do by their head coach Russ Russell, but giving chase here, this is for Central FC. Michael Williams, he loses out though, as Isaiah Garcia doing some good work there defensively. And this is Kiza back to Garcia. He wants it back. He's making a brilliant overlap here. This could be an opportunity if he can find the right ball. It looks to be a right ball indeed, but Nathaniel Garcia couldn't get the connection necessary, and the Central FC defense gets this one away. It's all the way back now with Etienne, and he composes it nicely, plays it into Paul. This is Pacheco dropping deep, as he's often obliged to do. He's back with Pacheco now. He's serving his options ahead. And now here comes Paul. Paul is looking to again drop one inside to Kiza. Kiza gives chase and asks the central defender to do some clearing. That's Javon Thomas, one of two Thomas brothers. This is Pacheco with the tackle, but it's broken now to Romario Burke, who's in for Central FC. And this one, good work, good footwork there, and the shot is blocked. Solid defensive work as well. So here come Deportivo Point Fortin again. This ball is going to be a deep one, aiming towards Kessa, but cut out. Kishon St. Rose will give chase, but this is Garcia again to Hudson. And it's all the way back now to Etienne and into Pacheco. Here again, he will survey. This is Garcia dropping deep, just leaving, giving and going, as they say. Here he is once again on the ball, Nathaniel Garcia. Pacheco gets it back now just inside the center circle. Good movement here from Deportivo, and they are slowing things down, so to speak. But this is a good ball out wide now, looking for Gregory. This is Garcia, and this is a goal, ladies and gentlemen. What a goal indeed. Deportivo Point Fortin, we spoke about his quality from that sort of range and those types of efforts. And after a knock earlier that seemed to draw some blood. He's playing with a cotton in his nostrils, but certainly it didn't affect this connection. What a goal indeed, as we look at it one more time.
Yeah, not at all. Just coming here to the top. Great technique, keeps it along the pitch. Straight in the corner past Katibi. It's 1-0 to Depot. PF Central with it all to do right now.
Javon Thomas there, the central defender, with not at all a strong clearance, and you don't want that falling to either Nathaniel Garcia or Pacheco from that sort of distance and range and position, certainly. And Garcia made it count. A fine volley that just zipped across the ground and past Katibi's right hand. It's 1-0 to Deportivo in the 9th minute of play.
Still very early, so Central wouldn't be panicking too much. These players know that they have the ability to pull this back. There's Garcia committing the foul. Good exuberance on either job this afternoon. Great goal and then good marking on the defensive end. Depot PF will take a breath as they recover the ball for the throw. This is Isaiah Garcia to Nathaniel Garcia. Pacheco plays it short for Hudson. Loses out. Then we have Williams.
Cut out again by Isaiah Garcia. So Central trying to get there or come to terms with possession a bit. And here they are now. This is the offending player earlier on. Really neatly done. This is Faria. He's looking ahead to Romario Burke. That could be deemed as dangerous, but the referee plays advantage, and this is a good dipping shot there from Kishon St. Rose. It certainly gave Marvin Phillip a thing or two to think about. Eventually, while he didn't gather as cleanly as he would have liked, he's kept it out of the goal, and Central FC will have their first corner kick of this encounter.
Yeah, and a good shot on target there. That's what you need when you're down. You need to get the ball in, try the keeper. Even somebody of Marvin Phillips' quality can make a mistake on an afternoon like this.
Yeah, it certainly does wonders for your confidence when you can get those shots in. So this will be Faria taking position to swing this one in. It's a right-footed effort and straight into the grateful arms of Marvin Phillip. A better collection this time, and his distribution not as good. But I don't know what he was aiming at, but it didn't go as he would have liked, and certainly not how we would have imagined coming from the TNT number 1.
Normally has very good distribution.
This is Isaiah Hudson picking his man in midfield and looking to set off Akinola Gregory, but instead it falls now to the man with the assist, or the cross that led to Nathaniel Garcia's volleyed goal. And this is Keza. Ezekiel Keza gets it to Justin Cornwall high up the pitch. A bit of a scrap here. Player goes down and the foul is called just as Luke Phillip was picking up position and looking to wrap his left foot around another cross, but the infringement had been spotted, and it's a Central FC free kick deep inside their own half. They play it short. Okay, good composed stuff here. This is Joe Colpier, but he gives it away to Hudson, and Hudson just recycles it to Garcia, now to Pacheco. Nathaniel Garcia looking for a foul. It doesn't come. He retains possession nicely though, and this is the other Garcia in this afternoon's Point Fortin lineup, Isaiah. Out wide now to Keza. Garcia again with looking for to release Isaiah. That's Nathaniel trying to link up with Isaiah. Instead it runs out for a Central FC goal kick. Thumbs up from Nathaniel, perhaps given advice from his team is that he should have gone with a different option, but you want to give the freedom of creativity and the freedom of expression to these kinds of players.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good ideas from Garcia so far, and of course you saw his technique, so you will trust him next time. Tells you to go into those spaces. I think also on the other side, Luke Phillip is also putting in a very good trip for Depot, full of energy, full of running, and keeping the Central defenders on their toes.
Central FC, they don't look up to the pace today. This is Joe Colpier rather. He's robbed of the ball by Isaiah Hudson. and it falls eventually to Akinola Gregory, who had strayed offside. So they've been spared there, Central FC. Joko Pia just dwelling a bit too long on the ball, just in the midfield area, and he was stripped of it. And what looked to be a dangerous and threatening attack from Deportivo eventually waved off as one player had strayed offside, Akinola Gregory. So Central have another opportunity now to bring it forward. This is Williams, Michael Williams, dropping deep. He goes to Leandro da Costa. He gets it back now. So he's trying to drive his team forward, but he's wayward in possession there. Gives it away to Cornwall. And again, he has support on that left side there from Luke Phillip. But they give it away as well now. Pacheco usually more conservative, but that time looking to open up the play, and instead he gives it over to Romario Burke. It's back now to Javon Thomas. He's asked to come forward. Crosses the half line. And again, this is Burke. Plays it into St. Rose. Does well to hold on to possession. And they bring Keegan Faria into play now. He's certainly shown some quality as well. And this time he tries from distance. Again, keeping Marvin Phillips honest. You know, again, coming up against the Trinidad and Tobago #1 with the experience that he has, certainly could put some doubt in your mind as to whether to try him from that sort of distance. But Faria certainly saw an opportunity that he took there.
Yeah, and it's good to see ambition from the Central players really to challenge, you know, who people would say is, you know, probably the country's best goalkeeper right now. So it's very good ambition from these guys.
Central FC, they win it back. Again, this is Williams, Michael Williams. He certainly had a lot to do and looks to be one of their sparks in this attack. Him alongside the man on the ball now, which is Romario Burke. This is Faria again, looking to dictate play from a deeper position, similar to the type of role that maybe an Andrea Pirlo or the likes of Nemanja Matic at times will pick up for their respective teams. But they lose out this time, and again, this is Luke Phillip to another man who plays that defensive or deep-lying playmaking role, Pacheco. This is Hudson now. He spreads it wider to Nathaniel Garcia. Outside of him is Ezekiel Kesau. He has two for company, and he loses out now again. Michael Williams very deep into his own half, doing the defensive work and looking to spark the attack now into Kishon St. Rose, but he loses out. And again, Deportivo just a pass or two away from goal as Garcia looks to play in Akinola Gregory.
Yeah, Depo's approach play is really aided by Pacheco's distribution from the central midfield. It's very composed, very tidy with the ball.
That's a good looking ball there from one Garcia to the next, Nathaniel to Isaiah, and coming diving in there is Leonardo da Costa. And he's able to earn a throw-in. Certainly looked a bit clumsy, but the assistant referee certainly pointing out to the referee that there was a foul and infringement there. I thought it would have been a throw-in. This is a free kick. It's a poor one at that. And just like that, position again just turned over very meekly indeed to Deportivo Point Fortin.
Yeah, and Coach Russell just letting his player know he's not on the field today. Of course, he's in the wrong position as well for us, Russell, but you know, they will look to recover now, get this ball back. Hudson playing it forward.
This is Gregory. Joining the attack now is Justin Cornwall. He has Hudson in support. He gets it now and plays it again into Gregory, but he loses out. And this is Keegan Faria. He certainly can pass the ball, and he can hit it very well indeed, as we saw a short moment ago. But this is Williams coming up against Isaiah Garcia. Good defensive work there by the Deportivo man, and certainly he's disappointed that he couldn't keep it in, but he's done enough to douse potential attack there from Central FC, as it was at the feet of Michael Williams, who certainly looked to be one of the more creatives in this Central FC lineup.
Yeah, and really from Hudson, you have a very good shift here on the right-hand side as Depot breaks, looking for another opportunity, goes begging. It's Garcia, sorry. That is Isaiah Garcia, the right back for Depot PF.
So here's Faria, again looking for options ahead of him. It gets it into Joko Pierre now, who's looking along the right for the run of, that's Ronaldo Francois. We've not seen too much of him, but he certainly is a skillful player from the looks of it. Coming up against Cornwall there, who's just a bit more sturdy than the central attacker and able to shrug him off the ball before they now look to get it upfield. This is Akinola Gregor. He'll make a chase. He has Finis Thompson in his company, and eventually the foul is committed by Thompson, and he's shown a caution for that foul on Gregory, who remains rolling in some sort of pain on the floor.
Seems to be well.
He's certainly done enough to put his team in an advanced position, and he'll be happy with himself for winning the free kick. Ooh, and that is a really, really dangerous tackle. He's lucky to escape with only a yellow card, as he's shown in studs. He does get the ball, but certainly I would believe that the thinking there of referee Timothy Derry was the showing of the studs of the player.
Yeah, and I think it was a bit unnecessary too, because Gregory was all by himself in the final third, so didn't really
moving
need
away
to,
from goal.
Yeah, didn't really need to dive in there.
And just like that, you've offered Nathaniel Garcia an opportunity from the sort of position that he likes. He's shown earlier his quality with the goal that has Deportivo in a 1-0 lead just about 20 minutes into this one, and he's lining up a free kick here against a really average height wall, and certainly he'll be fancying being able to get that one up and over and down in time to beat Katibi once more. Here is Garcia. He doesn't go up and over, he tries to go around the wall, but it's well spotted by Katibi, and good gathering and good distribution here by the man from Nigeria, the Central FC #1. This is Romario Burke, a good first touch, and again, Garcia just persistent from that right back position in the tackling. And Pacheco showing all of his experience there to put his body between man and ball and release Gregory. This is a dogfight, but eventually Central gets it out, and this is Chukwulpe. Burke now goes all the way back and dumping it forward there, giving Andre Etienne some work. He does well, and it's at the feet comfortably of Nathaniel Garcia. What a first touch.
How's your touch, son?
Before giving that one off to Hudson, and just like that, Deportivo have turned a position where they were running back towards their own goal to an attacking move now. This is, can he keep it in? Yes, he does.
It's Philip on the far side.
Pacheco now goes back to Etienne. The field widens, and he plays it back across left towards his defensive partner. That's Paul. It's with Pacheco again. He's looking to drop one in behind. What a good run is this by sneaking in there. It looked like rather Keza, and unlucky not to win either a penalty or a corner kick. It's going to be a Central FC goal kick.
On the balance of play, I think Depot have had the better first 20 minutes, but don't count out this Central side just yet. Romario Burke, who came on as a sub in their match at the Velodrome 2 weeks ago, was on spot to score 2 goals. So there is quality on the pitch. They just need to get settled sooner rather than later.
Here's Joko Pierre. Takes on his man, plays this one into St. Rose. St. Rose across the park now, but they lose out again to Pacheco, who's always there. It seems he's just always there, no matter what part of the park. He really makes that central area his own, and he's put Deportivo on the attack once again.
Yeah, it's a kind of omnipresence here on this very holy Sunday from the experienced former Princestown central midfielder.
A lot of his trade he would have plied with W Connection for much of his career before the assembly of this fairly new Point Fortin. I guess it's in a sense, an incarnation of what we would have known as the Point Fortin Civic Center. But Deportivo Point Fortin here, they've done well to attract the likes of Andre Pacheco, Marvin Phillip, Houghton Hector, all of that Princestown Intercol winning team, but definitely with vast experience playing professionally in Trinidad and Tobago at various clubs. In fact, all of them would have played at some point or the other for W Connection. So certainly the core of this Deportivo team has them really set up nicely.
Yeah, and Point Fortin is well known for its footballing talent, so they would have had no shortage of options. You want to think, and here they come again.
This is Faria doing a good defensive shift. Gets it into Burke. Burke now has always, it seems, he has Isaiah Garcia for company. He just runs into the fourth officials and match referees assessor's desk. But all's well here, no injuries to report. It's a minor collision, so to speak. Garcia now, he goes all the way back to Paul. Paul does nice, he does that really effortlessly to get St. Rose off of his heels, and then an equally impressive ball out to Luke Phillip. It's Deportivo again, back with Phillip. Turns on the outside. This is Gregory taking over and trying to slip Hudson through. Eventually it's cut out and Central FC come forward now. Jokol Pay again, just a bit too casual in possession there, and he's made to feel the presence of Hudson. And it's coming forward again. Hudson, again a wild swing by Pierre before Hudson puts this one perhaps into the mounted branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Yeah, you have to consider the horses on the other side of that fence. But good attempt, good approach play there from Depot. Really coming forward, looking very, very threatening this afternoon. Here's St. Rose.
For the first time, he seemed on his way to goal there in this match, apart from the earlier shot that he would have tested Marvin Phillip with. And of course, the foul had to be committed, because a player like him, you can't let him get away and get too close to your goal. So the foul was eventually committed by Justin Cornwall. And now Central FC will have a free kick. It's just about 40 yards or so out, and from a very wide position, taking control of it, it looks to be Francois. It's high, it's looping and aimed at Keegan Faria at the back post, asking Nathaniel Garcia to do some defensive work. It's a Central FC corner kick. Just about 26 minutes now played in this one. It's Deportivo Point Fortin leading Central FC 1-0. A 9th minute strike by Nathaniel Garcia has them in the lead in this one. Can they preserve it from the Central FC corner kick? Taking charge is Javon Thomas. It's a left-footed outswinger. Another flat one, and at the back post there was Thompson. He couldn't get a proper connection, and Deportivo able to get it clear. It's overrun by Jokol Pay, and now they are in some trouble with Acanelo Gregory. One-on-one with his man, but again a good defensive effort there by Faria.
Yeah, and he had to get that there. It was almost 2-on-1 if he didn't. Pacheco again, sending them on their way.
So Garcia, Nathaniel that is, to Isaiah. He lets it run and puts himself into some space and gets it back now to Nathaniel. Back to Isaiah, into Akinola Gregory. Good overlap, but Gregory goes the other direction. There's some nipping at his heels, but Deportivo able to maintain possession before Nathaniel Garcia fails to make connection with his pass. It's St. Rose now asking Williams to do some chasing, but Andre Etienne, another very experienced Deportivo player, does the job there to get this one back to Phillip. And again, they are on the front foot now, Deportivo. This time along the left, it's Pacheco. He has Cornwall, or rather Ronald Paul. Back to Pacheco now as they slow the play a bit and search for their opportunities. They'd want to not rush themselves. They already lead 1-0 in this one, and just over 20 minutes to play. St. Rose attempting the reverse pass there, but well cut out by Isaiah Garcia. Again, putting in a very good shift in that right back position. defensively and in the attacking exploits of his team. But here now is Luke Phillip, comes inside, plays this one aimed at Akinola Gregory. He gets a touch, but he is able to force a corner kick, does he? It's still in play. The linesman or the assistant referee keeps his flag down, and really disappointing delivery from, after all of that hard work to chase it down, keep it in, and certainly he didn't seem to cherish what he'd just done.
I think those small margins, may come back to haunt either side. You really have to be on your toes in this league. We've seen teams go up 2-0 and draw 2-2 in very recent history. So these teams really need to pay attention and make better decisions in those areas. Can be the difference.
Central FC would know all too well. They actually trailed 2-0 in their last encounter against Real Westfort United before having to come back from 2-0 down. So certainly they'd want to cut out that lack of that sort of complacency and be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more ambitious, and definitely a little bit more composed when they have opportunities like this one. Again, it's Francois over this free kick from a similar position to just a short while ago. That one was a long looping cross aimed at Faria, and that's a good shot on the swivel there before Marvin Phillip just plucks it out as though he's stretching for a low-hanging fruit on Miss Jolene's Julie Mango tree. Francois under pressure there, and he earns the free kick. Hot on his heels there was a combination of Luke Phillip and Andre Pacheco. Eventually, though, they had to foul him to get possession before this one is just given back to Deportivo Point Fortin. Ezekiel Kiza, he's put in a good shift along this right as well so far. Just doing what he has to do, really. Not too much involved in much of the attacking play, or in terms of the threatening attacking plays, but he's kept the left side of that central defense honest. And here he is now with a chance back to Garcia, and he's blasted this one high and wide, and again perhaps into the mountain branch of the police service, but definitely a promising attack there, a promising attempt. And Kiza, as mentioned, just doing what he's asked, which is to keep that left side of the central defense honest and certainly keep the play as wide as possible.
Good skill there by Pacheco.
Here he is again. He has Luke Phillip wider. He gets it now. He'll like to swing one in. He goes against it. He opts for his right foot instead of his more favored left. Now this is Central FC. Michael Williams, another player who we've seen all over the park. He's dropping very deep. He's in a right back position now. And Central FC, they just can't seem to find a way out of their defense by playing it out. So far, what has worked best for them is, putting those balls a little bit more directly into their forward line before we see Nathaniel Garcia lining up a shot once more here. He's certainly backing himself to be able to strike accurately from that distance. Apart from the goal, however, it's not worked out as he would have imagined.
Yeah, and you mentioned the more direct football from Central being the key to their football this afternoon. St. Rose, of course, has the speed, but those two central defenders for Depot, that's Andre Etienne and Ronel Paul, really pegging them back, controlling the way that Central makes it into the box. Two tall men, very good with their feet, also very excellent in the air, as is to be expected.
There's Depot. One Garcia to the other, as we've seen so many times this afternoon. Now it's Nathaniel. He takes on his man, plays this one into Hudson. Hudson has two options left, one of them being Justin Cornwall. He's playing across in now to Gregory. Gregory lays it back to Luke Phillip. And again, it seems as though the Deportivo team, they like to have a crack, but certainly they've not been able to line things up as accurately as we would like to see here at the St. James Barracks. So far, just over half an hour played in this first half. Deportivo Point Fortin leading Central FC 1-0. This is Williams, Mikel Williams. Switching the side now, this is Thompson. Thompson plays it into the feet of Faria. And it's back with Thompson now. Central FC again trying to find some passes out of the back. This is Francois playing in a more central position now. He started off wide on the right. He seemed to have switched now. He's made the switch, that is Francois, to the man who's just trying to win possession now. That is Leandro da Costa. Deportivo Point Fortin really not being challenged very much by the Central FC team so far, but definitely they say one of the most dangerous leads to have in a football match is a 1-0 lead, and at any moment now Central certainly do have the quality to spring a surprise. Here they come forward now. It's with Jokul Pierre. Again, he's hustled out of it by Nathaniel Garcia before some good work there by Faria to rescue his lack of urgency, Pierre. And this is coming towards us in the commentary position, Nathaniel Garcia doing the defending there that time. So it's going to be a Central FC throw-in left of field here, just in front of our commentary position. It's with Williams, who's going all the way back now to his centre-back, trying to urge them to, be a little bit more careful with their possession. This is Pierre again, a heavy touch. Pacheco he thought he had a chance to rob him, but Pierre eventually gets it to Romario Burke. This is Pierre again. Russ Russell, their head coach, begging them and beseeching them to play forward. Pierre now gets it again. This is Burke trying to release Francois. So a nice little passage here for Central. They've certainly probed a bit and held on to possession a little bit better than they had done previously, but Deportivo again with Garcia trying to spring a pass from deep. This is St. Rose. He runs into a wall in Etienne, but here's Williams. He'll fancy a shot. It takes a touch, but it's comfortably picked up now by Marvin Phillip in goal for Deportivo Point Fortin.
Yeah, these Central attackers really having a torrid time dealing with that middle two, as well as the central defenders, central midfielders. Good skill there. Moving forward for Depot.
This is Faria. This is a good ball aimed at Francois, but he can't bring it under his spell, and Luke Phillip is back to gather before handing off to Paul. And once more it's Garcia looking to release Phillip, but it's good defending there by Leonardo da Costa. And this is Jokul Pierre. Bringing it forward now for Central FC, Romario Burke. Francois shows for it. Not too many runs happening ahead of him, but it's with St. Rose now. Francois gets it back, and again it could bubble. They're asking for a handball, but comfortably enough Deportivo able to take care of any danger. It's Kiza to Nathaniel Garcia. He's looking for the run of Gregory, and really nicely done there by Leandro da Costa. Faria gets it again now, playing it into Francois. Good hustle. Gets it back. This is Burke now popping up on the left side. He's playing it in behind to St. Rose. This is a good ball, but he's gone too early and it's offside. So Central FC again coming into their own with just about 7 minutes or so left in this first half, stringing some passes together, being a little bit more brave, a little bit more adventurous going forward. But that time, Kishon St. Rose just didn't time his run properly, so it's turned over possession to Deportivo Point Fortin.
Yeah, I think the coach will be pleased with this passage of play from Central. They really need to find a way back into this game, hopefully before halftime. If you're a Central supporter, Central member of staff, player. But Depot really just sticking to their job, sticking to their task defensively to keep Central at bay.
Here's Leonardo da Costa back to Burke. Faria gets it now. He has a few runs ahead of him, but it's cut out by Ronald Paul. Pacheco gets a nice touch here to transition this into a midfield possession for Deportivo Point Fortin. This is Luke Phillip. He has 2 in attendance, including Leandro da Costa. Gets it back now, Hudson. He reminds me a bit of Atula Guerra, the way he plays Hudson. He's very upright, always head up and looking for what's happening around and ahead of him. And certainly he's proven to be key for Deportivo Point Fortin, just in that role, just behind the front man, or the front 2, or the middle of the front 3, so to speak.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a hot seat. You're playing right on top of the defense, playing right behind the defensive midfielders. So it can be a hot place to play, but like you said, he's upright, he's looking for the ball, he's looking for those little areas, those little touches, just to kind of make it very uncomfortable for the defenders in front of him.
Here he is once again, Hudson. Shifts this one to his left foot and looks to pick out Phillip, but it's cut out nicely, and Ronald Paul does some solid defensive work here again for Deportivo, keeping them on the front foot. This is Pacheco looking towards Kiza, but it's well defended by Leonardo da Costa, and Michael Williams picks it up now. He's coming forward, good skill there, and he goes to Joko Pear. Ahead of him is St. Rose, who gets it now, and he goes under, but there's no foul there. It's just a mismatch in terms of size. Andre Etienne there just stood his ground, and Kishwan St. Rose went to ground, and here is now Deportivo on the attack. It's offside though. Kiza making a sharp run through the middle of defense. A really intelligent run at that, because he's come off his determined position wide right for Deportivo and cut inside, but that time again not timing the run properly.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting piece of movement, and he'll look to exploit that further as this match goes on.
So this is Leonardo da Costa striding forward for Central to St. Rose. Da Costa gets it back. This is Williams now. St. Rose again. He goes down once more. Again, the referee says no foul, and Deportivo now in possession. This is Pacheco. Back to Ronald Paul. Asking for it now is Nathaniel Garcia. He gets it. He has Isaiah Garcia in support, and he pushes it back to Andre Etienne. So Central FC have to chase after the game now. They've allowed Deportivo to sort of just dictate play from a deeper position now, as we see Pacheco and Nathaniel Garcia both deep in their own half and just doing what they need to do to get it up to their front line. This is a good turn there by Hudson, and a good ball to Keza. Keza is struggling, but he gets it in. Oh, what a good shot. Akinola Gregory had some interest, but he arrived late on the scene, and it's wide of the far post there. Katibi's far post. He's breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, really sharp play there from Depot. Should have ended in a goal. Small margins again.
So slowly we've seen the likes of Garcia, Nathaniel, and Andre Pacheco. They've receded, so to speak. They've played and allowed the likes of Hudson, Keza, and even Luke Phillip, as well as Akinola Gregory, to take over things in that attacking third.
Yeah, they've done really well to suck up some of the pressure, to pull defenders onto them, and to really release the wider, faster players.
And nearing halftime, it's an interesting tactic as well. Nearing halftime, to sort of preserve or shield the defense. They've dropped a bit deeper, giving them less work to do, always offering themselves as options for the pass, the outlet pass, and it certainly allowed Deportivo to make a better use of their possessions coming forward.
Yeah, very shrewd playing from these players. I don't know how much of it is coached and how much of it is actual experience, but the midfield, of course, just dominating this first half, as we see Central get another corner, the far side.
Jokul Pair, the one winning that corner there. A nice switch of play there all the way from left back. That was Javon Thomas finding Jokul Pair, and it's Thomas now heading over from his position in that left back position to oversee the proceedings from this Central FC corner kick. It's just about 2 minutes of regulation time to go in this first half. It's Deportivo FC 1, Deportivo Point Fortin rather 1, Central FC 0. This is Thomas, and it swings all the way out of play. Deportivo will have a goal kick. So we're coming up on half-time. Deportivo Point Fortin will be in no urge to go in search of anything too frantically. They'll take their time. And this is Luke Phillip all the way across field, asking Central to defend, and again it's Michael Williams doing so. This is Faria. This is Williams again, attracting the attention of Isaiah Garcia, who pokes it away for a Central FC throw-in. This is Thomas, back to Faria. He's playing this one into Francois, who's lent on by, it looks to be Ronald Paul, and the referee gives it as a Deportivo Point Fortin free kick, much to the annoyance of Ross Russell and the Central FC. Ross Russell now is asking for an explanation of that call, and I would like an explanation as well, Jovan, because it seemed to be going in Central FC's favor, definitely.
Yeah, I'm guided by Mr. Russell, who certainly has more experience than me in the game, but that definitely didn't look like a Depot possession to me. He's also asking his players to be a lot more tougher and protect themselves from these kinds of situations.
Yeah, certainly they have allowed the likes of Pacheco, Etienne, etc. to bully them in a sense, you know, using their physicality. It's 45 minutes expired and 1 minute of additional time here. Not much has happened, and this is a good slip in here to Hudson. Good skill by Akinola Gregory, but again, it's offside. Well spotted by assistant referee Karen Miles. So just under 30 seconds left in the 1 minute of additional time. It's Deportivo Point Fortin 1, Central FC 0. It's not an insurmountable task for Central FC, but certainly they'll want to get their acts together. And as Russ Russell has been making the point over and over, they'll need to be braver, they'll need to be tougher, they'll certainly need to be a little bit more creative in working out this Deportivo defense. As the referee brings the first half to a close there, once again, the score here at the St. James Barracks, it's Deportivo Point Fortin 1, Central FC 0. Stand by, we'll be heading in a short bit to some halftime interviews and analysis conducted by our sideline reporter Ian Wason. But in the meantime, let's take you back through the first half highlights here from the St. James Barracks in Port of Spain. Deportivo FC versus Central FC. This was the goal. A good delivery coming in from Luke Phillip and a poor clearance by Javon Thomas right where Nathaniel Garcia likes it, and he was sure to make it count. A blast into the bottom right hand corner. There we saw Faria attempting to test Marvin Phillip. That one was over bar, and then the first caution of the match shown to Finis Thompson, offering Nathaniel Garcia a chance from this free kick, but it was into the grateful arms of Katibi. Deportivo Point Fortin continued to search. They had the better of chances. They certainly picked up the better positions, and this was near the end of that first half, but Kiza had gone offside. He had a better opportunity from this one, but his shot across goal just went unattended to by the player coming in at the far post. That was
Akinola
Gregory. It means that the score remained at the end of the first half. Deportivo Point Fortin 1, Central FC 0. We'll take a short break and come back with more leading into our second half, and again, certainly more live commentary here from the St. James Barracks in Port of Spain.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
We are the fourth estate. We educate, we inform, and we hold those in authority, politicians, business leaders, and others, to account.
Connecting the public to the truth drives our purpose here at CNC3. When we stand behind a desk every single night, a lot of people don't know that we're a huge part of the news process. We eat, breathe, and sleep news. And that reflects in everything that we do as a news team.
Every day we tell the stories of people's journey through life. Stories of their success, stories of their sadness, stories of their grief, stories of their glory. We're the mirror in which society looks at itself.
When a storm is coming, everyone always thinks worst case scenario, and sometimes it may just be a brief shower or two. It's not always going to be a green veil level event. So it's important to have the most credible and accurate information coming from a verified source.
Welcome, you're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe, cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Help us tell your stories.
We all see the negatives happening here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Let us begin the conversation
with inspiring content.
Targeting change.
Inspire TT. Be the change.
Right, match week 4, and it's a long weekend, so we're doing 3 different doubleheaders in 3 different locations. Friday, we head to La Hocketa Recreational Ground. Police FC coming up against Westfort, and your home team, Terminix La Hocketa Rangers, coming up against CSW. Then on Sunday, we head to St. James Police Barracks, Deportivo Point Fortin, coming up against Central FC. And on Easter Monday, we head to the Arima Velodrome, Aruba Football Club, coming up against Columbia FC, and AC Port of Spain comes up against Defense Force. Long weekend, 3 locations, electrifying games. The Ascension football tournament continues.
Deportivo Point Fortin and Central FC. We now toss to Ian Wason, who's on the sidelines with Depor PF head coach Selvon Francis.
Well, it's half time here. Deportivo PF is leading 1-0 over Central FC. And of course, I have the coach, head coach, Selvon Francis. Of course, this is a position you would like to be in at half time.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we should be a little more ahead in the area of goals too. You know, but I guess probably the time of day, the humidity and thing have us kind of a little off a little bit, but we comfortable with the lead at the half.
Well, of course, at Central FC you are playing, and they have been in positions like this twice before. Twice they came back against AC Port of Spain, and the other team they played was Westfort, and they came back and drew those 2 games. Are you wary of that?
Yeah, quite wary, but different game, different teams. My defense so far has held out against good opposition, so I'm not really worried about they coming back. I'm more concerned about me going further ahead at this point.
So what are you saying to your team at half time?
Well, we need to keep it compact, because sometimes I see the middle a little open, people coming through the middle, so we have to get a little more compact.
All the best in the second half. And that was the Deportivo PF head coach, and of course I'm going to be joined now by the assistant coach of Central FC, and that is Julius Edwards. And of course they are not leading, they are down 1-0. And Julius, you have been in a situation like this twice before against AC Port of Spain and Westfort. Are you confident of a better second half than the first?
Yeah, confident that we'll have a better second half, meaning that the players and them, like, they didn't come out running as we expected them. So as we go back into the half time now and Ross Russell talking and getting things ironed out, we'll have a better showing in the second half.
Well, the first half yellow card from Fikile Thompson, how will that affect him and affect the team having to defend? Because of course they would want to target him, come through him for another mistake. How is that?
Well, I think Ross Russell now mentioned him before I left that he had to watch himself for the cards and them. So more or less we kind of secure him, meaning that we try to not let him do too much running out at the central position, because they realize that the wings is where he's picking up the card. So we keep running out a little too much, so we go to address that problem and keep it more centralized.
And I'm sure Central FC have some more super subs waiting on the bench.
Yeah, well, you know, we second half we'll have a plan in which we will come and approach it and look for the results. If we can get the results, we're sure we'll get the draw.
Well, thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the assistant coach Julius Edwards for Central FC. Of course, it's a 1-0 lead for Deportivo. And a little bit of news, I just want to keep you updated. Some of you would have noticed that Jabari Mitchell, who was red carded last week against Cunupia, he would have played on Friday. And of course, I just want to give you an update. Police would have got that red card overturned. They would have gone against the red card. They would have made the application to the TTFA, and they had that red card overturned. They protested that, and of course he was allowed to play. So that's just an update from the Ascension Football League. We go back to our short break. When we come back, it's a second half action between Deportivo and Central FC.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
We are the fourth estate. We educate, we inform, and we hold those in authority, politicians, business leaders, and others to account.
Connecting the public to the truth drives our purpose here at CNC3. When we stand behind a desk every single night, a lot of people don't know that we're a huge part of the news process. We eat, breathe, and sleep news. And that reflects in everything that we do as a news team.
Every day we tell the stories of people's journey through life. Stories of their success, stories of their sadness, stories of their grief, stories of their glory. We're the mirror in which society looks at itself.
When a storm is coming, everyone always thinks worst case scenario, and sometimes it may just be a brief shower or two. It's not always going to be a green veil level event. So it's important to have the most credible and accurate information coming from a verified source.
Welcome, you're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe, cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. This is Uncle Pete's.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Help us tell your stories.
We all see the negatives happening here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Let us begin the conversation
with inspiring content.
Targeting change.
Inspire TT. Be the change.
Right, match week 4, and it's a long weekend, so we're doing 3 different doubleheaders in 3 different locations. Friday, we head to La Hocketa Recreational Ground. Police FC coming up against Westfort, and your home team, Terminix La Hocketa Rangers, coming up against CSW. Then on Sunday, we head to St. James Police Barracks, Deportivo Point Fortin, coming up against Central FC. And on Easter Monday, we head to the Arima Velodrome, Aruba Football Club, coming up against Columbia FC, and AC Port of Spain comes up against Defense Force. Long weekend, 3 locations, electrifying games. The Ascension football tournament continues.
James Barracks this Easter Sunday afternoon for the second half of the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago clash between Deportivo Point Fortin and Central FC. It's Deportivo leading 1-0 as we see Central FC kicking off in this second half and attempting to immediately go onto the front foot. Instead, though, it's Deportivo through Luke Phillip and now to Justin Cornwall. He's playing it ahead to Phillip again. Good strength, good fight. But Central FC win it. This is Jokol Pear. They give it right back, however. This is Akinola Gregory. He has their run ahead of him. He tries twice, but is well defended by Central before it comes back now to Phillip. This is Nathaniel Garcia confronted by St. Rose, and it's a Deportivo throw-in. Jovan, in that first half, Deportivo really bossed things from the early proceedings. They were able to take that 9th minute lead through a fantastic Nathaniel Garcia strike, and they did fashion the better chances for themselves. Now it's Central chasing this game. Your thoughts on what needs to be done or what needs to be changed from a Central FC perspective?
Yeah, I got some excerpts from Coach Russ Russell's halftime team talk, and this may be one of the things that he spoke about. Getting forward very quickly, getting the ball on target. That is St. Rose with the first shot of the second half. But he really, you know, a lot of these players have played under him, have trained under him for a very long time, so they know what they have to do. He did seem very bemused by the way that they played in the first half, and we do notice a bit of urgency coming. So it may be that the things that we spoke about in the first half, they have to really achieve in the second half. More urgency, more strength in the tackle, etc.
Certainly they've looked to put some of that into practice early on. So far they've gotten on the front foot really quickly, and that chance from St. Rose needed to be a bit stronger to challenge a goalkeeper of the ilk of Marvin Phillip, but still it's something to show some signs of encouragement, some signs of improvement from Central FC. In the meantime, it's all the way back with Philip for Deportivo. He hands it off now to Ronald Paul, who brings it forward. He's under pressure from Joe Colpaire, but eludes that. And gets this now into Gregory. Gregory with three around him, plays it blindly and gives away possession. This is Romario Burke. He goes around Gregory and goes back inside to Faria. This is Garcia in with a tough tackle, but Faria retains possession, and it's now being spread even wider now to Miguel Williams, a man who did a lot of running, but even so he couldn't keep that one in this second half here as Deportivo Point Fortin look to increase their lead. Central FC looking to pull one back that will give them better footing in this one. This is a good ball to Williams, but it's offside again for the umpteenth time. Central FC just ahead of themselves, and of course this time once more the play cut short by the assistant referee's raised flag.
Yeah, I think Williams and Francois will be key to the Central cause in the second half. They have shown the ability that they have, like you said, that foot speed, really to get into some spaces and really challenge the defense and the wing backs. But they will have really to focus more.
But they'll have some defending to do before that, but they do so diligently or before the referee points to the penalty spot. So on the attack there was Gregory. He managed to get a foot in just ahead of the onrushing Kolapo Katibi, but he has gone through the Nigerian goalkeeper and taken out Gregory, and referee Timothy Derry has pointed to the spot for a Deportivo Point Fortin penalty kick early in this second half, just 3 minutes in.
Yeah, it looked to be a lost cause if we could see the play coming on that right side. It looked to be a lost cause, but he did well to stick his foot out there, and Andre Pacheco will step up. Of course, the central bench is not pleased. They're calling for a commission of inquiry into the refereeing this evening.
Katibi is trying to make himself big. He's trying to put off Andre Pacheco as best as possible. But this is a man who's, as previously mentioned, played at all levels and at the highest level indeed for Trinidad and Tobago as well. He's burying this, or rather tries to bury it low and to the goalkeeper's left, but instead he hits it directly at Katibi. So it's a good save that keeps Central FC in with a fight in this one. It's a really poor penalty in retrospect.
Yeah, Katibi will be, after conceding in that first half, where he may have saved that first goal from Nathaniel Garcia, be really good to get this save. Really happy to get this save from Pacheco. Guessing right.
Looking at it again, emphasizing just how poor that effort was from Pacheco. Really, we expected better from a player of his quality and his experience. It could have really put this game to bed for Deportivo Point Fortin this afternoon, but instead they remain with just a one-goal lead, which Central FC will be confident of being able to overturn. The referee blows for a free kick but allows them to play quickly. Central FC. This is Burke now to Francois, and this is a weak shot. Marvin Phillip will scoop those up all day, every day.
Certainly more urgency, but we do need a little more sharpness from the central players, the central bench, of course.
A player is off the field here now for Deportivo, And it looks to be Akinola Gregory. He couldn't continue, but the referee is over to hand him a card. It seems for exiting the field of play without permission. I've never heard of that before.
His t-shirt's also off, so it may be for that, but...
And we are reliably informed that the card is for exiting the field of play prematurely without the, I guess, the acknowledgement of the referee in charge today, Mr. Timothy Derry. So that's Akinola Gregory showing a yellow card there. And Deportivo Point Fortin will be forced into a substitution. Down below us, it looks to be Jordan Riley being readied. So Jordan Riley is the player going in, it seems to be. Just as soon as referee Derry acknowledges, and he's beckoning the player to enter the field of play now. Here he goes, Jordan Riley. Another player, former Trinidad and Tobago Youth International. He's represented Presentation College at the schools level. Certainly a really interesting player, very skillful, very direct, full of running, and certainly he'll look to put all of those traits to bear today in influencing Deportivo Point Fortin further. But this is Central FC meanwhile, and the man on the charge there was Romario Burke. He got far enough, but certainly again the experience of Andre Etienne and Marvin Phillip combining to snuff out what looked like a promising attack. Meanwhile, this is Nathaniel Garcia. Nicely done for Luke Phillip. It's a good cross aimed at Riley, who just entered. He has some chasing to do, but again, he's neatly dealt with by Michael Williams, who again is very far away from home in terms of his attacking responsibilities today. He's joining the attack now, but it's an attack that comes to naught as Isaiah Garcia does the defensive work to put Deportivo Point Fortin back into possession. This is Nathaniel Garcia now. He's releasing Luke Phillip. This could be a really good chance. He's going to have a shot at goal, trying to catch Katibi sleeping or napping on his near post, but in the end it just crashes into the side netting, and it's away for a Central FC goal kick.
Yeah, well, with the try there from Luke Phillip, trying to get back that goal they thought they would have gotten from the penalty. Here we see again, coming on the left. Nice solid strike, rising always though, into the side netting. Again, solid central defensive play from the Depor men. Coming on the left here we have Riley. Good enough ball down the left. Here we go. Does he shoot? Does he? Oh! Just over bar there.
That is a poor attempt by Hudson. After doing all of that good work, he had the goalkeeper and the goal at his mercy, but instead his left-footed shot is over bar, and certainly again Deportivo Point Fortin ruining a missed chance. Will that come back to haunt them? Can Central FC punish those mistakes? Only time will tell, but this is, in the meantime, Michael Williams. He can't keep it in play, and the Russ Russell, he just covers his face in disappointment there for giving up such an opportunity, but certainly counting his side's lucky stars. This is Kiza, back to Hudson. He'll line up a shot again, this time a better effort on target, but a routine save by Katibi.
There's Garcia on the left side, working his way out of the pressure to Pacheco in the center. Nice feet there from the big man. Beautiful ball.
Lifted over the top to Keza. From our position, it didn't look like he was too much offside. It's going to be it was a close call, but assistant referee Natalia Williams on the far side, she felt that he had gone ahead of time, and so Central FC have the opportunity now to come back, but they can't hold on to possession. Deportivo Point Fortin really just overrunning Central FC early in this first half. They made a promising start, the side that's trailing in their all-yellow strip, but here it is now. Point Fortin have slowly come back into command, and here we see again their physicality really winning this one for them so far. Point Fortin. The player going down there is Ronald Paul. He seemed to be tackled late there by the player Kishon St. Rose. He put it out of play himself, and it's going to be a free kick. Yep, rightfully so, spotted by Timothy Derry for that late challenge coming in by St. Rose on Ronald Paul. Great ball here to Riley, and again we mentioned how direct he can be. He just found an inch of space and was thinking about trying the goalkeeper there. In the end, though, it's retrieved now by Philip. The attack is joined by Nathaniel Garcia. He was looking to line one up himself, but it's blocked and comes back now to Garcia, Nathaniel, to Pacheco rather. And again, some good interplay by Deportivo, but that man Keza can't seem to time his runs to that perfection necessary to avoid the uplifted flag of assistant referee Natalia Williams.
Yeah, good interplay there in a very small area for Depor. Once again, uncomfortable moments for Central. Still look to be settling in, even though they've improved somewhat in the second half.
Ooh, good skill there by Williams. This is Burke. He'll have a go at Marvin Phillip. It bounces up off the turf, but luckily Phillip didn't commit to a dive. He remained standing and was able to just pat it down before gathering, and now he distributes aimed at Riley and Keza in close association. A look there at the Deportivo fans, visiting fans. They've made the journey all the way from deep south, as we say, and they've certainly enjoyed some decent play by their beloved team this afternoon at the St. James Barracks. They're looking to get on the front foot again to extend this lead if they can. They should have done so already in this second half, but Central FC find themselves still in with a snuff if they can manage to put something together. In the meantime, they'll have some defending to do. It's diligently so, though, by the man Leandro da Costa. He gets it to Joko Pair. He turns his man, but eventually he's fouled. His opposite number, Luke Phillip, there, guilty of snapping at the heels of Joko Pair, and the referee Timothy Derry right on spot to call the infringement in Central FC's favor.
Yeah, just on the hour mark, we could hear the applause coming from the Depor bench for that effort by Phillip. Lost the ball, track back. It's a good lesson for young footballers everywhere.
So it's Deportivo Point Fortin inching themselves upfield via the back-to-back throw-ins. They'll have another. They'll have another, again, just a few yards further forward. It's Cornwall, the man just inching his way along the touchline. And as coaches always urge, he's throwing it down the line. This time Phillip will give chase, but it runs out of play, and they'll have yet another throw-in. So 4 throw-ins in a row that puts them into an advanced position, Deportivo Point Fortin, and now they'll really aim to make this into something that threatens the Central FC goal. This is Kiza now flicking it around the corner to Hudson. A good interplay there, but it's retrieved now by Phillip. He's urged to keep it. He brings it back out now to Hudson. Hudson back to Nathaniel Garcia and into Pacheco. Hudson gets it back now and he'll line up a left-footed effort. Katibi had to be watchful. In the end, though, it was more fire than brimstone, and Katibi is able to gather this one comfortably in the end.
Yeah, good sighter there from Hudson. Just keeping Katibi on his toes. Pacheco wins it back in the center.
He has
Switches
Riley
it.
approaching on the right side. This is Riley now. Good first touch, a better second touch, an even better third touch, and then the fourth touch, the one that should have been a highlight reel all over the country and the Caribbean, is flashed wide. Jordan Riley, the substitute. He can't believe it. We can't believe it. The
fans on the far side can't believe it.
And certainly his coach Selvon Francis can't believe it. You make a substitution like that for this reason, to affect the game, as we know Jordan Riley can. And the thing about it is, he had a player across goal. Ezekiel Kiza was in attendance, and certainly that should have been the option that he went for. At the other end, Central FC, another Central FC attack is waved off for an offside. This time it's Keyshawn St. Rose. He's dropping his head, but his head coach, Russ Russell, who's very near to us, is urging his team to continue to play. Pacheco, ooh, fancy feet.
Silky smooth from the veteran.
This now is Cornwall, as Garcia comes in and he's floating this one aimed at Riley, but it's cut out nicely by Da Costa, Leonardo. And then the foul committed there by a frustrated Michael Williams. He's done a lot for his Central FC team. He's popped up all over the park, and as he helps his man to his feet once again, he's shown a yellow card for that really wild swipe. The type of foul that becomes necessary when you lose the ball in a position like that, because your team is now exposed. He had to commit the foul, and in the end he had to have known by committing that foul he would be shown a yellow card. We look at it once again. Isaiah Garcia just using his strength, and then Michael Williams there with a desperate lunge.
Yeah, really a necessary evil, especially to a team already down 1-0.
And this angle shows it a bit better, just how much he went through the legs of the player and tripped him. This is Deportivo. Isaiah Garcia into Hudson. He turns it around and is playing a good ball over the top here to Philip, another player for Deportivo who's done a lot of running. His cutback rather, is aimed at Kiza, but too much on it, and then Pacheco trying to drill this one in, but it's wide of the mark.
Yeah, good height on that from Pacheco. Well wide. Very good attempt there from the central midfielder.
In the meantime, Central FC will ready 2 substitutions. One of them being Keegan Faria, who's anchored the midfield. He will exit the field, and in comes Shem Clausel, yeah? The son of the dribbler of the 1980s and 90s. And they'll also seek to introduce...
Jerick Williams.
Jerick Williams, yeah? And Joko Pair will head to the showers. So 65 minutes played. It's still Deportivo Point Fortin 1, Central FC 0, but I'll tell you this, Jovan, it should have been a different scoreline. Both teams have had their chances in the second half.
Yeah, and I think Central will be feeling it more because they're still off the score sheet, but Depor really needed to put some space between them and a side that has shown that they can come back into the game in the late stages. Here's the substitute, Jerick. Needs to get warmed up. It's good defensive play from the first line of defense. It's the forward. It's Riley breaking into an open field.
He has Keza across goal, and he finds him now. This is Kiza, not a good touch, and it allows Katibi to come in and throw himself at the ball there. Deportivo Point Fortin have been really wasteful in this second period. Kiza definitely disappointed in himself. He was all alone after Riley had sprung the trap and did the needful this time. Instead of going for goal himself, he found the player who was positioned centrally, and in the end, though, Kiza that is blasted that one really high and off target. This is Clausel, one of the Central FC substitutes. Aiming for Javon Thomas along the left. He floats this one in. It's a good ball. Forcing Luke Phillip that is, to defend deep. As Leandro da Costa was lurking at the back post. He'll take charge of the throw-in now and goes to Shem. Shem, a good chest trap to Francois. He's crowded. He holds on to it. He goes inside and a good Cruyff turn. This is looking good for Central FC, but then again, Andre Etienne. No nonsense with that tackle. Oh my goodness. The luck of the bounce is what they call that. Nathaniel Garcia facing his own goal. He stuck out a leg in trying to defend the Central FC attack. In the end, he assisted Kishon Sid Rose, who could do no better than blasting that one above the bar.
Yeah, Sid Rose would really be ruining his luck on that occasion. He got the bounce but wasn't able to keep it down. Seen a lot of shots on that end of the pitch go to the horses. Here come Depot.
Really good defensive work there. This is one of the Central FC substitutes, Clausel, linking with another, Jerick Williams. And this is played ahead now to Michael Williams. He stayed on side. He'll approach the penalty area now, but again, right on spot as always, Andre Etienne to turn defense to attack, 4-point Fortin, and this is Riley. I think Kessa had made a first post run when he might have been better served hanging onto the far stick. But this is Katibi clearing, back to Luke Phillip. Kiza now, and a good intervention there. It's back with Luke Phillip. He'll swing his left foot, and Katibi falls on that one gratefully to keep things 1-0 in favor of Deportivo Point Fortin. Central FC still with about 22 minutes left in regulation time, still in with a chance in this one.
Yeah, it's still a very tight game, as that tackle shows. You know, still very much a lot of effort going in from both sides, trying to win it. You hear coach asking for the Central players to take more risks going forward. Certainly not at the back, but here they come again. Depot taking the ball away from them very calmly. Riley sizing up his chances here, options. Good ball retention from the Depot midfield to keep Central at bay. It's Garcia in the middle.
Joining the attack now, Justin Cornwall up from left back. Surveys his option. Kiza is one. This is good skill by the diminutive frontman. He's gone central. He started off wide right, but in the end muscled off by Thompson. And Central FC try to spring an attack. They have a second bite at the cherry, so to speak, through Michael Williams now. In attendance is Isaiah Garcia, who's done his defensive work really diligently, and that pass will always favor Etienne over the player there, Shem Clausel. Size is certainly an issue for this Central FC team. They've been outworked. They've certainly been muscled off the ball on more than one occasion, and that time Shem Clausel certainly he surveyed his options and realized that going into a challenge against Etienne was always going to be against him.
I think few people would run into Etienne and his partner too, Paul.
Francois really sloppy that time as Central FC were looking to build. So far, Deportivo Point Fortin seem to be playing more on the counter attack. They've allowed Central to have a little bit more possession in the midfield as compared to the first 45 minutes, but this time unable to make it count, as Riley was looking to make it so that time. He's on the attack here again, as mentioned. He's really direct, and this is a good ball in. Luke Phillip is on spot. The assistant referee's flag stays down, and just like that, Central FC made to pay for falling asleep at the back there and the man on spot, Luke Phillip, drifting in from his wide left position and showing Kiza just how to put them away from that sort of position.
Yeah, I think that's just rewards for Phillip. He's worked very hard this afternoon on this left side. You can see the ball coming in there from the number 10 through the legs of the goalkeeper. That's 2-0 to Depot.
And Luke Phillip, as you mentioned, Jovan, he's really worked hard for his supper this afternoon. And just like that, he has what might have been an assist in that first half, leading to Nathaniel Garcia's goal. And surely does now have a goal for Deportivo Point Fortin, which makes it 2-0 in their favor with just under 20 minutes left to play. That goal scored in the 71st minute. In the meantime, they take the opportunity to make a substitution. Nathaniel Garcia, who scored that opening goal, will come off, and in comes for Deportivo Point Fortin.
That's Stephen Joseph.
Stephen Joseph. It's also the end of Ezekiel Kizar's night, and in comes Omari Kabam. So Deportivo Point Fortin rather, with a 2-0 lead and taking the opportunity to sort of refresh their resources, making two substitutions. Once more, in comes Omari Kabam and Stephen Joseph, and the players going out are Nathaniel Garcia and Ezekiel Kizar. In the meantime, a player receiving treatment here for Central FC. It looks like Michael Williams, and the apologetic player that time, Isaiah Garcia. They have certainly had a really keen tussle, a keen battle between themselves, those two players. Isaiah Garcia, the right back for Deportivo Point Fortin, and Michael Williams, sort of the roving playmaker for Central FC.
Yeah, I think Garcia's really acquitted himself well. You see him getting stuck in. Doesn't look too intentional. It's a straight hand.
But a hand to face, Jovan, is usually calls for at least a caution. So Garcia is really lucky. He's had a solid, very sturdy game, not very few mistakes, very few opportunities to foul or being called upon to make any reckless challenges. But that time, I feel as though he's lucky to escape a caution for raising his hand as high as it was there in the face of Michael Williams for Central FC.
I think the referee would have taken into account the kind of afternoon he's had. He's been very tidy. He's been very good on the ball. He's been very respectful, I guess, of the opposition, and hasn't put in many fouls. So I think that would have been a factor in that call.
Meanwhile, another substitution for Central FC. Michael Williams' night is over, and in will come for them Joshua Phillip. They'll also introduce players Ada Williams and Joshon Thomas, and the players coming out, St. Rose and Burke. So 3 substitutions there for Central FC. Coming in, Joshua Phillip, Joshon Thomas and Ada Williams, and the players exiting play today, Romario Burke, Kishon St. Rose and Michael Williams.
Yeah, Central just refreshing their attacking lineup. They desperately need 2 goals right now. So it's a good move by Ross Russell to put some more energy at the front. Put the Depot defense under some pressure in these late stages as legs begin to tire. Here come Depot again. Scrappy football in the middle. Luke Phillip emerges with it. Gives it to the number 17. Ball recycled all the way backward. Pacheco in the middle. Ever present as usual. Back to Pacheco. Looks to be a bit of game management from the Depot team. They are comfortably ahead in these dying stages. Another ball across, well blocked by the Central FC defender for a Depot corner. what would be their right side. The Depot players begin to flood the box as it's a good corner. Bit of a dogfight in the box to get it off.
That should have been Deportivo 3, Central FC 0. But in the end, the Central FC defense did just enough to get it away from their goal. And it's Deportivo maintaining just a 2-0 lead in this one. In the meantime, we see a foul being committed on Central FC deep in their own half. It's going to be a free kick. And the man over it, Javon Thomas, who's had a decent performance from that position. He's shown support now by Katibi. And he's playing this one up to Jerick Williams. He stumbles on it for a bit and tries to turn something into nothing. Nothing into something, rather. But in the end, it's Deportivo coming ahead. Now this is Jordan Riley. He's diligently attended to by Thomas. And now Jerick Williams gives it back to that said player. This is Francois. Francois has taken over the captain's armband and he distributes this nicely now to, and it's good skill as well, to Leandro da Costa. His ball into Ada Williams, unable to be reeled in by the player, and instead it's Deportivo getting this away. Central FC back on it though. Francois back in a more conventional position, and this is Shem Clausel. He runs in once again to Etienne and thinks twice about trying to go any further. So it's a wonderful evening here, Easter Sunday at the St. James Barracks. And so far the football has been wonderful as well. Deportivo Point Fortin certainly showing how to get it done. The experienced heads, inclusive of Nathaniel Garcia, who scored one today. Marvin Phillip, who's so far kept a clean sheet. Andrew Pacheco, who's been really tidily in the middle of midfield. And company, Andre Etienne, and so on. They've really acquitted themselves well and showed all of their experience in handing Deportivo Point Fortin this 2-0 lead so far.
Yeah, I think they'll be really pleased with their display this afternoon. Very controlled, as you said before, very controlled football from them from the onset. They got very settled much earlier. I think the goal would have helped them do that. It's the opening goal from Garcia, and it's blossomed into a 2-0 lead as we head into the final 11 minutes of the match. Central just struggling to get out of the back for a second.
They do so now. They bring it forward through Leandro da Costa. Luke Phillip is chasing him doggedly. And just when we thought a foul might have been blown, the referee thinks about it, and here it comes. So a desperate swing at it there by Luke Phillip, who had a long chase backward. And he's certainly feeling the effects of that now. His hands akimbo. He'll have some more work to do, but the referee stops play. He's handed out a caution to the player, Luke Phillip, as we get a second look. This was Ada Williams retrieving, and he was caught really nastily there on the shin. In the end, though, he's able to continue, and so is play here in Central FC's possession. It's heading back now to the other Da Costa twin, Leonardo, and his distribution aiming towards Jason Thomas. Goes out of play. It's Deportivo ball. 10 minutes left on the clock. They lead 2-0, Jovan.
Yeah, and I think they're good value for this lead this afternoon. Central has huffed and puffed, but they haven't really blown the house down. Depot doing the work all over the pitch this afternoon, taking their time with the ball, building some really good plays, frustrating their opposing attackers. Here comes Central again. Undaunted, of course, they had that exciting come from behind draw last week. Going to break on the right side. Ball is just miscued and out of possession.
Still, even at this late stage, Central FC head coach Russ Russell urging his team to press a little bit higher, and so they win it higher. This is Leonardo da Costa, though. He's fouled, and referee Timothy Derry offered Central FC a chance to produce something of quality that might halve their deficit and certainly give us an exciting finish to this one here at the St. James Barracks. Standing over it is Jerick Williams, as the referee says that this free kick, the foul, the infringement leading to this free kick actually occurred a bit wider of the original position. This is Williams now, swinging in a right-footed ball. This is a good-looking one, but it's repelled by the Deportivo defense before Francois helps it on, and now the shot comes in. Central begging again for a free kick, a penalty rather, and instead it's going the other way. Good distribution by Marvin Phillip again. Jordan Riley is on his bike. He's gotten to the byline and his cross comes in now. It bounces off Thompson and is out for a Deportivo Point Fortin corner. He's a bit disappointed with himself that he wasn't able to beat the first man with his cross after being off to the races, but in the end they still do have a corner kick from which they can make something happen. We see striding forward are both Ronald Phillip and Justin Cornwall. Etienne has stood back on this one, but they certainly do have some height in Luke Phillip and Isaiah Hudson, who's currently positioned at just about the penalty spot awaiting the delivery. Since then, however, Cornwall and Paul have retreated, and the referee has since decided that this is a throw-in. This is Riley still, and it's a strong challenge coming in there from the man who's doing some deep defending there for Central FC, Jashawn Thomas, and it'll be another Deportivo corner kick.
Yeah, I think he learned his lesson there and got down to business against Riley. Can't be trusted with that ball around the area. It's going to cause trouble. It's been trouble since he's come on. A great sub there for Deportivo Point Fortin.
Yeah, he's assisted on the second goal, scored by Luke Phillip in the 65th minute. Here they have another opportunity. The cross coming in, though it's met at the first post by Clausel, headed only as far as Andre Pacheco, however, and his attempted ball to release Phillip around the back is watched all the way and gathered nicely by Katibi. This is Cornwall with the throw-in on the near side. He asks Phillip to post up. A basketball move, but certainly doesn't work out that time, and now it's Central FC. With Francois looking to post up himself, he wins the foul, and it's a free kick to Central FC. It's put into play. This is Clausel. This one is looking long, but it's going to be flicked away by Garcia, with Jashawn Thomas threatening to come around the back. But it's a throw-in for Central FC now. This is Jerick Williams, gets it back to Jashawn Thomas, but Isaiah Garcia is always going to put up a fight, but this is a good cross. Headed away though by the Deportivo defense. Central win it back. Clausel again, a really shifty player, rather Jerick Williams. Lining up a shot is Leandro da Costa rather. He had a player wide of him in support. He apologizes for his rush of blood to the head, which resulted in that kick going high over bar now, and it's just being retrieved for a Deportivo Point Fortin goal kick.
Yeah, Depot PF really looking to take their time, not taking too many risks in these dying stages. Just about 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Jovan, I mean, this match has certainly been an entertaining one. It's been ebbing and flowing, so to speak. Central FC, though they trail 2-0, they certainly did have their chances, which they were unable to make count. But I think on the run of play and the way things have gone, the balance of power in this one, it's a deserved 2-0 lead for Deportivo Point Fortin, and perhaps even if they go on to win by a further amount, certainly we'd have to say that that's the way the play has panned out.
Yeah, I think sometimes after a football match you can feel, that you could have done more. I don't think that this Deport team will feel that this evening. They've done everything that they can do. They could have gotten more goals, but on the balance of play, I think they've put themselves in a really great position. They've taken responsibility for their own destiny and really played themselves toward what certainly looks like their first 3 points of this tournament.
Yeah, but the game is far from over from Central FC perspective, and certainly they're still giving it a go, looking to get the ball into those pockets. As we see here now, Ronaldo Francois could break, but it's defended comfortably enough. This is Cornwall playing it ahead now toward the substitute, Stephen Joseph. But they lose out, and Leandro da Costa brings it the other way for Central. This is a good ball and a good run around the back of the Deportivo left back. But it's well defended equally, and this is now Deportivo on the front foot. Hudson is put through on goal. He's done well, and a good tackle there. It looked a little bit dicey, but a really strong and well-timed challenge to win the ball and stop Hudson dead in his tracks there. The tackle coming in from the other Da Costa brother, Leandro.
Yeah, that's some excellent football there. Great tackle, timed it well, kept his eye on the ball. Keep his team in with a chance, somewhat.
Just about 2 minutes left in this one. From the St. James Barracks, Deportivo Point Fortin will be further going into game management mode to sort of run the clock down in this one, as they currently hold a really comfortable lead. But here comes Central FC. They won't make these final 2 minutes easy at all. Good work here from one of the substitutes coming in, Joshua Phillip. He loses out now to Cornwall, and he does well to win, or rather he does well to clear his lines, but it's still going to be Central FC ball and a throw-in in a promising position for Central FC. Certainly with just about a minute and 15 seconds left, they'll want to get this one into the box and perhaps force some sort of mistake from the Deportivo Point Fortin defense. They're unable to do so. It comes away now. Hudson was interested, but good work there by Thompson. Gets it to Joshawn Thomas, and he loses out. Riley, will he be taking corner flag or going to goal? He was trying to go to goal, and another strong tackle there by Thompson for Central FC. And again, just giving it right back. So although Point Fortin have been the more clinical of these two teams, Central FC certainly have not seemed to learn their lesson and keep turning over possession, finding themselves on the back foot far too often. And this is a good ball coming into Phillip. He lays it off to Stephen Joseph, and in the end his left-footed blast is high.
Yeah.
So Deportivo Point Fortin, although they lead with just seconds left in this one, still looking to make it 3-0. That certainly would enhance their goal difference and perhaps slide them even that much further up the table in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, a player like Phillip still running at this point of the match, having been up and down the pitch from the beginning of it. And there we see just 3 more minutes remaining of time added on. Certainly he's really put in a very good shift. He's earned his dinner, earned a hot shower, may earn the accolades and the appreciation of his coach.
So Deportivo Point Fortin still looking to put the ball into those dangerous forward areas. This is good interchange here between Hudson and Stephen Joseph, but it's lost in the end, and trying to go past the ever-dependable Isaiah Garcia. That time was Jashawn Thomas. It's cut out, and it's up to Riley now. So it seems to be happy hour, so to speak. All of the tricks and flicks are coming out. Player seems down on the far side. It looks to be Isaiah Garcia. It would be really unfortunate if it's anything serious. He's put in a good shift, as we see that shot there from Luke Phillip coming in, perhaps trying to put the ball as far behind the goal as possible.
Yeah, a bit of lost ball win there from Phillip.
Certainly it's not necessary, because they seem to have this game already won. But he might say he was putting it out for his teammate Isaiah Garcia to receive treatment. As we see on the screen here now, he's writhing in pain. He looks to have either twisted, or maybe he was caught late on the right ankle he seems to be holding. But he's back to his feet now, even as he gingerly walks off the field and awaits the referee's clearance to return to play.
Yeah,
so 2 minutes of the 3 minutes added on have gone. 1 minute for either of these two teams to have any further effect on this game. It's Central FC trying to be that team, and they win a corner kick. It's a goal kick given. So the player there giving chase was Joshua Phillip. He was certain that he had done enough to nick a corner kick off of Deportivo Point Fortin. The assistant referee indicated it was a goal kick, and the referee Timothy Derry has to agree. So it's going to be a Deportivo Point Fortin goal kick. Marvin Phillip has asked his team to tuck in and go higher up the field, as he's looking to boot this one to the other end if possible. With just seconds remaining on the clock, comfortably, Deportivo Point Fortin FC will walk away with this one, despite the really admirable fight of this Central FC team. Still biting in with those tackles even at this stage. As there we hear the final whistle, referee Timothy Derry puts Central FC out of its misery. This one ends with Deportivo Point Fortin getting its first full 3 points of the season to move them up to 5, and certainly help them leapfrog a couple of teams, including Central FC, to land a bit further up the standings in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago. Comfortable work in the end. Marvin Phillip there barely even busting a sweat. In this one, he's been asked to work, but not too hard, and he's receiving the plaudits there and the praises of Kolapo Katibi, the Central FC goalkeeper, who makes his way all the way from the other end to shake the hand of the Trinidad and Tobago #1. At full time, though, in this Ascension tournament, Easter Sunday fixture between Deportivo Point Fortin and Central FC. It's Deportivo 2, Central FC 0. As we head to the first half highlights, this was the second half highlights rather. This was Keishon St. Rhodes with a good chance, smothered by Phillip, and then Deportivo coming forward and lifted past the keeper. There was Akinola Gregory. It was stopped before it rolled over the line, but the referee Timothy Derry had spotted an infringement as Fakur Katibi came hurtling towards Akinola Gregory and clattered into the player. In the end, Andre Pacheco unable to make the spot kick count, and Gregory was shown a yellow card for exiting the field of play without permissions. That shot there coming in from Phillip, we'd see some more of him later on. It clashed into the side netting, and then Ezekiel Kiza had his opportunity. Jordan Riley also had his chance to put his name in the headlines, going around one player and then two, and then with support he blasted wide of an empty goal, and certainly would be disappointed in that final effort. A yellow card here shown to Mikael Williams, who'd done a lot of running for Central FC, and the frustration getting the better of him. Speaking of frustration, Kiza was a frustrated figure. That first touch not nearly what it needed to be to threaten what seemed to be, or to make good on what seemed to be a sure goal. In the end, though, there was Riley linking up this time, learning from his previous mistake and scoring that one on a platter for Luke Phillip to tuck away past Katibi and make this one 2-0 in favor of Deportivo Point Fortin against Central FC. Jovan, in the end, I think we've witnessed a fair result based on the balance of play in this one. Deportivo Point Fortin will make the long drive back to the Southland with its first 3 points of this Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago. Central FC with a lot to think about and a lot to talk about with this defeat here this evening.
Yeah, but credit to Central, they applied themselves to the task. They had a couple chances, a couple gilt-edged chances that they should have really claimed, but Deportivo was just too good for them this afternoon, and it's a good win, very handy win for them. First 3 points, like you said, and they'll be looking to build on this in future rounds.
It's a really a young team, the Central FC team. They look to be still gelling, still meshing with one another as this competition goes along, and I really look forward to a better finish than their current position in the standings might suggest, but definitely a lot to look forward from them, and we certainly wish them all the best. In the meantime, though, one of the players, or I would say the player of the game, who certainly showed his skill and his quality in bossing that Deportivo midfield, is on spot to speak to Ian Wason in the post-match. It's Nathaniel Garcia who scored the opener for Deportivo Point Fortin, and Ian Wason has him pitch side for his closing comments of this match.
Well, a 2-0 win for Deportivo PF, and of course with me is Nathaniel Garcia, who is responsible for the first goal, a brilliant volley scored in the first half. Now Nathaniel, coming into this game, you would have lost your opener against Police, but drew 2 games, one against AC Port of Spain and of course Defence Force. Now you're getting your first win. It seems as every game that every week goes by, Deportivo is getting better. How important was this win today?
Very important for us, seeing that we are a bit low on the table, getting the first 3 points. My first game and first 3 points is an honor for having this victory.
So you are the good luck charm in this team?
Experience, quality.
Now, of course, you are one of the Garcia brothers. You have your other brothers, well, your brother who's playing with you, and then you have Judah and Levi playing outside. Now, please tell me about your leadership when it comes to your younger brothers. Of course, they would look up to you. Tell me how it is.
Of course, we came up from small, playing together, very physical, competitive, and now that they're actually beyond me now, I have to look up to them. So, it's a nice feeling knowing that all of us, wanted it and we are making it now.
And coming back to this tournament in this game, now you have off the bottom of the table. Of course, you have 5 points now, and that would take you about 5th or somewhere about there. Into the grand scheme, as you continue to the tournament, how does this win fit in? Of course, it would start the points now to come. How important was this game? And of course, you have the addition of your goalkeeper.
Exactly, Marvin is playing a big part in the team. He's like the anchor man now, and with the defense and experience all round team, I could say, with youth and how to say it, youth and seniority, So this first 3 points, it will be a great win for us and kick us forward to the next game, that is Rangers, So we've been a high and going for our next 3 points.
Of course, you heard it here. He's sending out a warning to Rangers. Rangers are on top of the table, but of course, Deportivo PF are going to have a very enjoyable and long trip down the highway as they head back down to Point Fortin. Well, safe travels and all the best.
Thank you, thank you.
That was Nathaniel Garcia, the goal scorer of the first goal for Deportivo. And of course, we are waiting to be joined by the Central FC coach, Ross Russell, who have found himself at the end of another loss, their second loss in as many games. However, being down 1-0 at half-time, you would think that the Central FC team would have been looking for another comeback, but this time the comeback wasn't to be. So we are now joined by the coach, Ross Russell. Of course, coach, this is not what you would have wanted today coming into the game.
No, well, any coach don't like to lose, and I'm one that hates to lose, and coming into this game, I thought we'd have a better performance, but I think the performance was down. I think the energy level wasn't there, but I think, the guys still fought.
Well, of course, you would have done it twice for this season, coming in from behind. Of course, at halftime, you were still confident of a better showing in the second half.
No, well, as you all see, the second half always seems to be better than the first half for us. But it's a work in progress. We have to start games a little better. We have to stop conceding goals. So it's plenty of work on the park. It's not when you come for game, it's really on the park. We have to keep going.
Well, what happened in the second with the second goal? The team seemed to have fallen asleep when the ball came across easy for the easy tapping, I would say.
Yeah, I think the two defenders get a little carried away when the game is on the line. They tend to try to overwork themselves. No fault there. They are young kids. They are working hard. Sometimes it happens.
And of course, for Kelly Thompson, who would have gotten the yellow card in the first, the ball came across him. Perhaps he was thinking about the yellow, so he took it easy in the second half.
I'm not sure what he was thinking, but I know he's a guy that's given his all the time. And I think I wouldn't fault him for it because he's a young dude, and I think he really worked his butt off tonight trying to get back to the game. So I think he probably was a little bit tired.
Well, of course, it's still a young season. They still have about 11-12 games to go. Of course, you must be looking forward to the rest of the season with a bit of anticipation and expectations.
Yeah, I like to win games. I like to win tournaments. And I'm trying to pump into the guys. I think you could see that they fight to the end. And tonight they just didn't have the energy to go forward. I think the team was more confident. There was more experience in their team than us, So when we try to fight back, they take the win off of it by passing the ball around. I think you got to give them credit, because the experience really showed tonight.
Well, all the best for the rest of the season.
Right, thank you.
Well, that was the coach of Central FC, and we have spoken to Nathaniel Garcia of Deportivo PF, and of course this is Ascension Football. Deportivo coming up 2-0 winners.